time for a breakdown.
Never gonna get it, 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 never gonna get it. Whoa, 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 whoa. Never gonna get it, 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 never get it.
Hey everybody, welcome to GAYXYZ. Thanks for joining us tonight. How are you doing tonight, guys? Are you there, guys? Hello.
Yeah. Feeling good. Hey. Feeling like that song was never going to get it to the end.
I'm doing great. I'm doing absolutely wonderful.
That's good to hear. I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad y'all are doing good. If you want to follow us, you can go to gayxyz.com, offlimitshow.com. And for me, for Christian, you can go to christianalexanderfashion.com. And, of course, for Jason, you can follow him on Twitter if he hasn't deleted it yet.
No, I still haven't. It's still active. It's Jason B. Like, Jason_B_E_ like.
That's right. And tonight we're talking about whatever's new in gay news, et cetera, et cetera. So, one of the things we had on the list was to talk about Kesha. So let's talk about that, Christian.
So everybody knows the whole Kesha scenario that went down, that's been going down the last 3 years with Dr. Luke and allegations of rape and mental issues and this, that, and the third. Well, Kesha's fighting back. Kesha's reps are comparing her situation to modern-day slavery and urging a judge to dissolve the contract between their client and Dr. Luke. On Monday, Kesha filed paperwork that requests a New York appeal court to consider her fate in the ongoing legal dispute with Dr. Luke. The judge who rejected Kesha's injunction told the singer last month, "You're asking the court to decimate a contract that was heavily negotiated and typical for this industry." So now they are obviously appealing the whole thing, and they're going to go back to court for it. One of the things that they said was in the last what's it called? Not a trial, but hearing.
Yeah.
Was that he doesn't have to give her any money and is under no time constraints as far as like working with her. But still, it's the moral of the scenario.
Right.
You know, having to work with somebody for 6 albums. You know,
six more albums
is what the contract is for.
Oh my
and
God.
The problem lies with the fact that she's not directly under Sony. She's under Dr. Luke's record label, which is distributed through Sony.
Right.
So that's the whole issue with Sony is like, you know, it's out of our hands because she's not really signed to us. We're just the big dog.
Right.
So but that's the problem. It's like you're the big dog, you have the ability to drop Dr. Luke, and it's kind of that's where we're all standing right now. So I thought I
read that they said they were dropping him.
How this could ever be resolved.
I thought they were dropping him. They're not dropping him?
I mean, it's being rumored heavily, but
right.
As of right now, nothing's been announced.
It is, in my opinion, slavery. It is a form of slavery. I mean, that's what it is. Only because of the history that these two have, of course, and how she's been treated, et cetera. And imagine being indentured to someone who's harmed you in the way that this guy's harmed her. That's a horrible situation. I feel horrible for her. And I'm not a huge Kesha fan at all. Mm-hmm. But anyone in that situation, I would feel horrible for. It's a sad situation.
Well, yeah, and that's the whole thing. It's a lot of people. The reason being is a lot of people are saying Kesha's pursuing an agenda to rid herself out of the contract. But the whole moral of the story, as far as the legal end of it, it's like, you know, contracts would be, you know, decimated all the time if people just threw their hands up and say something happened to me, whether it happened or not. You know what I mean? So for them, they're using her as an example. They're using, you know.
Well, I think if they actually do allow her to get out from under this whole thing, then that probably will affect other people's contracts, don't you think, in the industry in some way or not?
Yeah, for sure, because either way, it's being used as an example. So if they
Yeah.
were to terminate her contract, it's like the Kesha scenario, she was able to terminate her contract. And if they don't, then, it only proves the point that, contracts are a serious legal matter.
Well, that's sad. Let's hope that she gets
Yeah.
that resolved. That's sad.
Yeah, I'm never a fan of anybody that's legally bound outside of their own voice.
Absolutely, and especially artists, because artists generally are pretty much free spirits, and they don't like to be
Sure.
held down. God knows I sure wouldn't. I swear to
Yeah.
God, I'd be a fighting bitch, and I would go to his fucking house with a fucking hammer. I'm serious. I would be like, let me on the fucking contract, motherfucker. I would fucking threaten his life until he let me out. I'm not kidding you. I mean, I really would be pissed off about the whole thing. And I think she should be too. Of course, that's not the best course of action. I'm not suggesting anyone do that.
Right. Well, and I think what's being discussed as far as like a way that they could work together is that, Kesha would be on at her will to work with any other producers that she wanted, but at the end of the day, Dr. Luke and his people would be foreseeing any project, therefore approving and denying songs, producers, that kind of thing.
That could still make her life hell, of course. So that's a horrible.
Exactly.
What do you think about it, Jason?
I mean, it's a really, fucked up situation that, she's not able to get out this contract and, they don't want to release her, that type of thing. I mean,
do you know what's interesting about that though? Is that in the 80s or 90s, actually, the early 90s, George Michael was in a similar situation. It wasn't for the same reason, of course, but he wanted desperately to get out from his contract from Sony, is also Sony, as a matter of fact, Records, and they would not release him. And he wanted to go a different direction artistically, and which was what came out in the mid late 90s with his music, away from the kind of pop stuff, more towards I don't know, soulful kind of thing. And he felt enslaved by that. And then he came out with that song after he got released from that contract, Freedom. Do you remember that song, Freedom? If either of you ever heard it, okay, Freedom, Freedom, that song. Yeah. Anyway, that's what primarily it was about. But it's just it can happen to any artist, and I think it's really sad because I think when you're signing a contract and you're just starting out, especially, you're going to sign anything you can to get your image out there and to get your record out there, of course.
And you know what? I was just about to say that too. I was like, when you're, an up and coming artist and, someone is willing to sign you, especially with being you don't know anything about the industry. I'm like, artists are quick to sign their name on the dotted line without really knowing the true facts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I don't want to be one of those type of people that be like, oh, you should have read your contract, because I feel like that she was eager to get into the business, and they took advantage of her, and
I think all of them do. I think all of them take advantage of a new artist who doesn't know much, and even if they have an attorney, not necessarily knowing the nuances of what they're signing, and because they're hungry to be famous, hungry to succeed or whatever in their industry, and they will do pretty much anything they can to do that. And so I think every single one of them take advantage of that by paying them lower amounts or royalties or whatever, so they can make more money. But I think it happened with Toni Braxton. It happened with happened with so many people. So it's a sad thing.
I just think it's interesting that at any given time, a record label can drop an artist, but an artist
can't drop the label.
You know what I mean? It's like death. You know what I mean? To try to get out of it.
You're absolutely right.
It's just fucked up.
It's indentured servitude, like you're saying. So yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's true. That's sad. Well, what about? Did you guys watch I Am Kate this week or not?
No,
I haven't been watching it. It's a lot. I mean, it's been super controversial. I've been hearing a lot more about it, like within the last week. But now I'm hearing rumors that it's possibly getting canceled because it's obviously not as many people are watching it. It's more boring. I know you watch it. What do you think?
I do watch it, and I still watch it. I think it's still a really very good show, especially this season, because I said last time on the show they're dealing more with real issues now, and not just about her transformation, but more about real issues that trans people deal with in terms of everyday life, and having to deal and contend with transphobia and with government or what's the word, the law basically, and also of course their politics and things like that. And they really go deep this season, so I'm really surprised. Well, let me say this. They're going really deep this season, and I like that, and I think it makes more compelling TV. However, people who watch the Kardashians are probably going to go the opposite direction because it's more deep. It's not like superficial and topical like the Kardashian shows are. So I think that they're gonna jump ship. But also, of course, like we said last week, there are people who are jumping ship, especially transgender people and gay people to some degree, because of Caitlyn's belief system. So
sure.
And I think it's understandable. I mean, I really, it's kind of hard to like her sometimes because of her fucking Republican beliefs. It's like some white guy talking to you instead of a transgendered woman, some old white guy. I mean, so I think it's not surprising. But you think they're going to cancel the show?
Yeah, that's been the rumor. I mean, when the show first started airing last year, it was getting upwards of 2 million views a week.
Yeah,
and now we're talking about 300,000 to 400,000 views a week, and that's not a lot by any means, especially for a TV show on the E! Network. So I think it'll be interesting to see. It's kind of disappointing as well. It's like so many people tuned in to watch it for the spectacle of it at first, but now that it's informative and educational, nobody cares to learn.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
That's
yes.
like when the show first started, everybody wanted to know, what is transgendered and what is it in society, and now that the show's delving into those kind of discussions, it's
exactly.
Like,
that's exactly
boring.
my point. It's not boring. It's only boring
well,
to people
I know, but
who
I'm
have.
saying like that's the perception.
No,
yeah.
I know, but I'm saying Jason said, "Oh, it's boring now," but it's not boring. It's just that people who actually have a brain and want to use it and actually think about things in a real way instead of just being spoon-fed shit on TV like a fucking Kardashian show, would actually give a fuck about this and actually care about what's going on.
Is it entertaining?
It is very
outside of,
entertaining.
like, the topics?
To me, it's entertaining because they still argue, they talk, and they get into